live. Yeah, baby. Back up in this thing. Excuse me. Let me adjust my seating situation here. Yeah, man. Have a little sip, and we can get right back up in this thing, man. Man. I was gonna kind of just ease back a little bit on the political spectrum here. But like I said, whatever's leading, whatever speaks to me, I will speak on it. And, it's a nice little laid back day today with the lady. Chilling, watching a marathon of bar rescue. Sunday night, Monday morning, as I'm sitting here recording this. So, sitting there watching a marathon of bar rescue as, my Sunday television viewing is open now because I don't watch the NFL anymore. And from everything I've seen as far as updates on Twitter and all this other stuff I'm getting and friends who are still watching it, it's probably a good thing, right? Because apparently the Cowboys ain't doing too hot. Well, be that as it may, we were watching a whole lot of bar rescue today. And, I'm a fan of that series. That new thing he's doing, the Dirty Truth thing. I gave one episode a try. It's just them trying to be funny. It's not even really, they bill it like they're giving you the dirt, the behind the scenes stuff. And they do, but it's like, out of every, 5 comments, it's like one. The rest of them are stupid, punny jokes. So, but I think whenever this COVID hysteria lifts, he'll have some business coming his way. We'll see some COVID special editions of Bar Rescue. But anyway, be that as it may. Man, and the other thing is, good God, TV's hard to watch. I mean, these commercials are just... I'll have to do another episode just on TV commercials and the clear, political agendas being pushed subliminally, and in some cases, with the subtlety of a damn anvil on the head in some of these commercials. But yeah, that ought to be a different episode. But today, I want to talk about, I saw an update that Joe Biden, old Joe, has gone to the Democrat Hailmary, right? So I have before me right now an article from Billboard.com, and the title is Biden Campaign Enlists Jermaine Dupri, Ludacris for Get Out the Vote ads. Okay, and before I even read this, I think those of you who you know the lay of the land. You know where this is aimed, right? We know who they're targeting with this, right? So let me go ahead and read this a little bit. Joe Biden's presidential campaign has tapped Ludacris, Monica, Jermaine Dupri, and Jeezy to record "Get Out the Vote" ads focusing on black voters in battleground states. It is really, really important to make sure people don't sit at home, Dupri tells The Hollywood Reporter. There are a lot of people I know that are still on the fence about voting, period. The 60-second ads will run on radio and on digital in key battleground states, with the talent imploring listeners or viewers to vote. I like this false, them assuming this false mantle of neutrality, right? Just go out and vote. We don't care who you vote for. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Joe Biden, we don't care who you vote for. But go out and vote. That's all we want. We just want you to go out and vote. Okay, well, if that's how you felt, why didn't you just record it? Why wouldn't you just do this of your own volition? Why? So Joe Biden's going to pay you. His campaign is going to pay you to tell people just to vote. Okay. All right. Well, if you believe that, then I have oceanfront property in Oklahoma that I would like to sell you. Moving forward, The article continues. At the same time, the campaign has been expanding its Shop Talk discussion series, which aims to address the challenges facing black men across the country. Panelists have included Dupri, actor Terrence J, and Don Cheadle, among others. Question. A panel addressing the challenges that black men face across the country. Okay. Um, let's just say, let's just jump through one leap of logic here and say that this panel is 100% warranted for a substantial reason that is endemic specifically to black men across the country, right? What does Jermaine Dupri, who is a multimillionaire, Terrence J, never heard of him, Don Cheadle, multimillionaire. I just love this notion that LeBron James espouses this horseshit too. That, I'm a millionaire, but I'm still oppressed. Okay, well. Anyway, the article continues. If there wasn't a pandemic in place, the campaign would be in barbershops across. They really did say that. The campaign would be in barbershops across the country. We would be there in person, talking to people, touching people's hands, and having this dialogue. Terrence J tells THR, adding that the dialogues the campaign put together are the next best thing. For me, these conversations are incredible. I'm sure they are, Terrence J, because you're actually learning something. Okay, wow, in barbershops across the country, because yes, ever since that stupid movie series came out, people think that the black barbershops are like, some kind of religious temple. Is really not that serious. It really is not that serious. Yes, you go to a barbershop. Yes, you have conversations with people. Yes, you have a lot of free form topics of discussion, but Christ, you can have, good God. But that's how, look, in my experience, that's how liberals, specifically white liberals, that's how they play the game. Their knowledge is wholly peripheral and it's all based in stereotype. And when you start to veer outside of stereotypes, then they enact their version of racism, saying, "Oh, wow, that's very white of you." So, but nobody talks about that. But anyway, let's move forward with this article. Our campaign is focused on meeting voters where they are, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's message to build back better. What a, I'm sorry, I hate to keep digressing and interrupting my own stream of thought here with these what I'm reading, but build back better. Can we talk about that? That if that saying alone doesn't tell everybody the state Joe Biden's mental faculties are in, build back better. Isn't the better implied? Why would you build back worse? Okay, well let's move forward. I'll reread that part. Our campaign is focused on meeting voters where they are, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's message to build back better, says the campaign's director of strategic communications, Kamal Marshall. These events and new GOTV ads with various influencers reach a critical audience of black voters that we're hoping to turn out this election. Ultimately, the goal with both the with the ad campaign and Shop Talk effort is about getting voters to the polls. No, it's about getting voters to the polls to vote for Joe Biden. But they can never be honest. The celebrity supporters of the campaign seem happy to help however they can. I'm sure they are. Cha-ching. I'm sure they are. We need all we can get to change the narrative, to change the situation in the United States of America, says singer-songwriter Anthony Hamilton. We need all we can get to change the narrative, to change the situation of the United States of America. We want to be as loud as I can, as visible as I can. Whether it be speaking, singing, whatever I can do to bring people to a comfortable spot of acceptance. Okay, whatever that means. So, this is, when you listen to these types, right? First of all, these Hollywood, like they don't live in a real, they don't live in the same place that we live. Okay, in terms of their reality, it is skewed. It is very skewed. And I think you have in a lot of cases, especially with these black celebrities, they feel the need to don, the mantle of oppression to kind of blend themselves back in with common black people. It's really just it's really nauseating. It really is. It's nonsense. But just from a logical standpoint, okay, uh, black folks have been voting lockstep Democratic for decades. Now, Mr. Hamilton, if you want to change the narrative, that would imply that the current narrative is bad and is in need of changing. And not just the current, but that which preceded it, right? Because obviously, if we need to make this change, it's not change back, it's change. So it implies that this current negative situation has been going in perpetuity. Okay, well, let's see. If you've been voting a certain way in perpetuity, and you've been in a situation that you don't like by your own admission in perpetuity, I mean, wouldn't it make sense? Now, this is going to get crazy. Wouldn't it make sense to try something else? And in this case, it's even more dumbed down for you because there's only two choices. So, I mean, it's literally like taking a short answer test, a multiple choice test with two answers, A or B, and you say A, and the teacher says no. Guess again. So, A again? All right, let's keep reading. Dupri says that he was impressed by how seriously Biden is taking his outreach to the black community, calling a meeting he took with the former vice president at the Democratic primary debate held at Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. I had to have misread this. Let me read this again. Dupri says that he was impressed by how seriously Biden is taking his outreach to the black community, recalling a meeting he took with the former vice president after the Democratic primary debate held at. No, that's what it says. Taking it seriously. Okay, taking it seriously. See, that's the thing, man. That is the thing, and that's why I called this episode the Democratic Hail Mary, because when it starts going bad, this is how you can tell. When they start reaching out to the celebrities to this is the Hail Mary. This is it. And I would suggest that this late in the game, for them to be, I mean, he took a what was that, a Zoom call with Cardi B, because Cardi B is obviously the most intelligent person when it pertains to politics, or in general for that matter. But okay, he's taking it seriously. Let's read on just one more paragraph of this horseshit here. He really wants to hear what we have to say. He came to the meeting with a pad and a pen. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. He really wants to hear what we have to say. He came to the meeting with a pad and a pencil. He didn't come to the meeting acting like he's the boss or the president. That's because he's not the president, Jermaine. Let me help you out with that one. That's because Joe Biden is actually not the president. That's why he didn't act like he was the president. He's not your boss either. Wow. He came to the meeting with a pad and a pencil. Very good. Very good. Notice, I mean, a pencil. That's funny, right? Because what do pencils have? Most pencils that I know come with an eraser. So, okay, well, whatever. But anyway, that's really just semantics at this point. Let me see if there's any more of this garbage. Nope, it looks like we've reached the end of this article. Okay. The Democrat Hail Mary. It never fails. They will always enlist entertainers. They will always enlist musicians, and I'm expounding upon entertainers, obviously, because musicians fall under that umbrella, but musicians, athletes, you know, but I can't, again, referencing something I said in one of my earliest podcasts, one of the earlier episodes, where I said, is I don't blame the person that taps the person on the shoulder and takes the fry. I blame the person that keeps falling for it. Well, Can't get mad at Joe Biden, the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, all did the same thing. Kamala Harris tried, didn't work out so well. So, yeah, I can't get mad at them. I can't get just like when Joe Biden made that one comment, because there were several, but made that one comment about how black people all think the same, and there are people who I know who were just, "Oh, man, you believe this?" Yeah, I do believe it. Yes, I 100% believe it. Now, my question to them are you angry because he said that, or are you angry because it's true? Um, I'm sorry. And then these same people are going to go out and prove him right by voting for him anyway. So, what are we really talking about? What are we really talking about? But anyway, that's the game with these people, right? It gets whenever they need the quote unquote black vote, right? They go get their Negro whisperers. They get LeBron James. They get Jermaine Dupri. They get Ludacris. They get athletes. They get celebrities. People who are not. How do I put this nicely? Stupid. They get useful idiots. They get stupid people who think they're intelligent, like T.I., for example. The the motherfucker gets a thesaurus. He finally figures out that's not a dinosaur. It's actually a book. And he reads it, sees a couple of words, decides to just kind of interject them into his daily conversations. And people are like, damn, T.I.'s smart. Is he smart or does he own a thesaurus? So, you know, I think people need to put into perspective, specifically black people, right? Because that's who we're talking about here. Jermaine Dupri, Ludacris, LeBron James, T.I. Why do they have a platform to begin with? Because they can rap, because they're good at basketball, because, in Jermaine Dupri's case, because he's good at making money off of people, which is very interesting that he is now subsequently being made money off of by Joe Biden in the form of trying to harvest votes. But again, useful idiots. Anyway, but we need to keep that in perspective. Why are they famous? They're famous because LeBron James is famous because he can dribble the ball, shoot, dunk, and play this game better than most anybody on this planet. Okay, and very good. You should be famous for that if that's why you're famous. But, I just want to interject. While you were busting your ass in NBA off-season camps, while you were playing in the summer league, perfecting your skill, while you were training, playing basketball, the rest of us were going to school. Some of us went to college. The rest of us were learning because we actually had to function in the real world so we could pay your salary, so you could play a game. So, but that's the thing with people canonizing celebrities. When you put them on these pedestals, you have to expect people to use them to make you bow down. But the celebrities, these are the children. You all are the children in the room. The adults in the room are the people who furthered their education because they actually had to get a real job and make it out in the real world. And that's no shade. That's just saying stay in your lane. I could no more. If I walked into the Los Angeles Lakers while they're game planning for a game, while they're watching film, and I start telling LeBron, see, man, you got to drive left more. You don't use your left hand enough. You gotta stop settling, man. You gotta drive. You gotta hit the hole more. He would look at me like I was insane. And he would say, who are you? I'm LeBron James. I'm the best basketball player in the world. LeBron James, who are you? Jermaine Dupri, who are you? Ludacris. This hurts, Ludacris, because, I grew up listening to Ludacris, but damn it, who are you? You're a great rapper. Yes, you are. But it is arrogant, it is pretentious, and it's ultimately foolish for you to think that you know better than the whole of the quote-unquote black community. Okay? Because, again, please recognize your limitations. Just because you have a bunch of money and a heavy Twitter following does not mean that you know everything about everything. So, but again, as long as people continue to fall for this, they will continue to do it. And they will continue to insult your intelligence by parading these useful idiots out in public, telling you to get out the vote, whatever that means. And if, as if it wasn't, what was it a few years ago? Vote or die. Now it's get out the vote, vote to survive. Like what is this, like this false dilemma of, if you choose to abstain, because that's another thing that people will say. Well, when they're trying to leverage you to vote or pressure you into voting. I respect the people. Excuse me. I respect the people who say, I don't like you either, I'm not voting. Because believe it or not, that's actually a statement. That is actually, now, given the fact that you register to vote, obviously, because if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? So, register to vote, don't vote out of protest. That's a statement. I can wrap my arms around that. Hell, I've done that. But this notion that you have to vote because that's what your ancestors fought for. No, no, that's a half truth. Um, People fought for, whether it was black Americans, whether it was women, whomever, when they were fighting for suffrage, they were fighting for the right to do it. See, that's different. That's a completely different thing. The right to do something and actually doing something are not the same thing. You see, because that would imply that there is a monolith, which, Democrats like to operate under that premise anyway, right? That every black person, we all think the same. When we're born, when we come out of the Wakanda factory, there's an Africa-shaped microchip that gets implanted in our heads, and we all think the same. So the right to do something and actually doing it, two completely different things. And when I say that, I mean this. There were guaranteed by law of averages black people back in the day when black folks couldn't vote that were disinterested in the notion of voting. They said, no, I don't really care for whatever reason. Right? Because there are people nowadays of every color, white, black, yellow, brown, whatever, red, that say, not interested in voting. Because guess what? People are different, even if their skin looks the same. People have different values. People have different motivations. People have different things that they desire. So to, again, throw everybody into one barrel is wrong. So I say that to say this. Look, there were black people back in the day who didn't vote. And I'm sure there are black people back in the day who didn't want to vote. But they don't want to be told they can't. And that is the difference. That is where I make the distinction, right? It's one thing for me to have the right to own a gun and choose not to. And it's a completely different thing, regardless of how you feel on the issue. It's a completely different thing for you to tell me I can't. See, and that kind of gets into one of the revelations that I've had during this whole pandemic is the alarming amount of Americans who are comfortable being dictated to, being told exactly what to do. That is alarming. But again, that'll probably be a different episode. But anyway, getting back to this, wrapping this one up, the Democrat Hailmary, right? Democrat 101. We need the black vote. Who you got? It's hilarious. It makes me wonder, who would they do? Who would they use if other groups of people were this gullible, naive, what adjective you want to use? If they were this, at least perceivably, this naive, this gullible. I mean, what would they use for Latinos? I've never seen Joe Biden go to a Mark Anthony, J Lo, and Ricky Martin and Danny Trejo. Like I've never seen, I've never seen him go to what would they use for Native Americans? Lou Diamond Phillips. Who else? Who else is there? That should say who else is there. Who else is there? Lou Diamond Phillips. I guess that's all he got. But this is so just what they use for white people. Okay, let me put together. Let me think here. Let me get a good cross section here. If they believe that white people were as gullible as they believe black people to be, who would they put together? Let me see here. Let me put together an all-star team. Um, hmm. Bruce Springsteen, definitely. Let's see. Maybe Peyton Manning. Let's see. Who else would they throw in there? They got to throw a woman in there that everybody knows. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Jennifer Aniston. Maybe that. So it's silly, man. This is silly. This is absolutely silly, man. But we'll see if it works, right? The only way for it to not work is for people to not let it work. So, as reductive as that is, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is where we're going to end this one. Like I said, man, we'll eventually branch out into some other things. But as long as politics is leading, which the timing of all of this is it's around that time of year, so it'll be what it is for now. But anyway, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Planet Hog. I am your High Chancellor, Supreme Ruler, and the man who stays up watching over you while you sleep, Hog. Until the next time, baby, I'm checking on out.